Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Shayla if this is your first time here. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the highly anticipated KKW concealer. She launched 16 new shades of concealer, so they're liquid. They're not like those cream sticks, contour sticks like before. These are liquid concealers, 4 setting powders, and 4 brighteners. And she's selling them individually for $18. I have them right here. You can see it. It's a small, very, very small little situation here. Let me actually show you compared to my Kylie because this is what I use. So it's almost, oh, you can kind of see it. Look at that. Well, obviously the product is in a really thick plastic container, but there's not a lot of product in here. The concealers retail for $18. The setting powders retail for $18. And these brightening powders, which I think is kind of like, it's kind of cool. You don't really see a lot of brands do this for $18. Now you can buy a kit which comes with 4 shades of concealer, which I'm kind of like, do you need 4 shades of concealer? I feel like I could get away with just using 2, a lighter one and a darker one, but you can get a kit that comes with 4 concealers, a brightener, a setting powder, and the 2 brushes for $80. In this video, I'm gonna be applying the concealers, the powders, the brighteners. I'm going to use the brushes. You guys are going to see everything. But before I do that, let's talk about the shade range. Let's talk about the concealers. Let's talk about the ounces. People, the ounces, okay? Now, I did some comparisons and I compared KKW to about 5 or 6 different brands. And I was specifically looking at the amount of concealer shades, the price, and the ounce. So I just want to read off a few brands just so you guys can kind of really see a comparison of KKW versus every other brand. All right, so the KKW concealer is $18, 0.1602 ounce. The bundle's $80. There's 16 shades. MAC Pro Longwear, MAC Cosmetics Pro Longwear is $23, 0.30 fluid ounce, so almost double, right? And 16 shades. The NARS Radiant Concealer is $30, 0.22 ounce, 22 shades. Kylie Concealer is $20, 0.22 ounce, and 30 shades. Fenty Beauty Concealer, the matchstick concealers, there's 20 shades, they're 0.25 ounce, and they're $25. As far as the shade range, I would say she launched the same amount of shades that most companies launch. She definitely needed more deeper shades, don't get me wrong, but as far as the number of shades, she's kind of in line with what every brand is doing, and I think that's the bigger picture that we need to focus on. I think it's great we're having this conversation about shade range, but we need to really apply that to all the makeup brands. You know what I mean? So there are so many brands out there with terrible concealer shades, and when I compared KKW to MAC Pro Longwear, because I've been wearing MAC for years, I feel like they kind of have similar colors. So NC15 to NC50, like I can see the shades in these concealers, and NW15 to NW45 or NW50. So I really feel like her shades are in line with what most of the brands are doing. And you know what? There needs to be more. And that's kind of the bottom line. There needs to be more shades. Everybody needs to be represented. It could have happened with this launch. You know, she really could have done what her sister did. And like, I don't think it's cool to compare sisters, but when Kylie came out with 30, concealers, she really made sure there was something for everybody. And I feel like she should have done that, or do 40. You know what I mean? Like, why not? So if we're gonna challenge brands like Tarte, like KKW, we need to make sure we're challenging them all. And that's pretty much what I have to say about this. Let's get back to the concealer. So this is a full coverage concealer, and I have a little piece of paper here. It's described as being hydrating, and you can use it alone or with the baking or brightening powders. So I actually swatched the concealer on my arm and compared it to the Kylie Cosmetics and the MAC concealer that I usually use, just so you can see the consistency. This is MAC Pro Longwear, which is a little bit more watery. This is the KKW, and then this is the Kylie. So they're actually really similar in consistencies. The KKW actually feels a little thicker. The Kylie Cosmetics is slightly more watery. So you'll see when I apply it that I almost had to use a little bit more because it's a thicker, heavier, well, it didn't feel heavy, but heavier concealer. Each setting powder or the baking powder has a different shade. So number 1 is kind of like I guess most similar to the Laura Mercier. Number 2 is a little bit more pink. Number 3 is more of a yellow tone. And number 4 is kind of more of an orange. The brightening powders pretty much match the baking powders, and the brightening powders come with a mirror, which I think everything needs to come with a mirror. Like, I'm trying to get my money's worth. You feel me? All right, let's get started on the application. I'm gonna do my concealer, the powder, the 3 steps, and one of the steps went all the way left. I'm just gonna tell you that, okay? And then we're gonna talk about my first impressions of the product. I'm gonna try my best to apply it just like I saw in Kim's tutorial. I don't know, I'm curious to see if it works, if it's gonna look good on me, you know what I'm saying? I matched the KKW concealer as close as possible to the Kylie Cosmetics concealer I already have. This is my Kylie Cosmetics right here in Granola, and then this is 11, 12, and 13. So I think I'm gonna use 11 and 12. I'm gonna use number 12 first because it's closest to the concealer I usually use, and then I'm gonna apply 11 over it to brighten it. See, I'm kind of excited to try these, you guys. I also have number 15 right here, so we can contour with that. This is number 12 concealer. So this concealer, so far, it feels a lot thicker than what I usually use. Like, it feels like a lot of coverage. Should I even attempt to use a sponge? Last time I used one of her brushes, it just didn't work out too good. We're gonna try it though. Let's put this away. I don't know, that sponge, the KKW sponge is like too stiff. Like, I can't. I think I need to add a little bit more. It was a little, like I guess I thought it would spread a little bit more. Let me add a little more concealer. I'm gonna go up in here because I don't think I added enough. Okay, so my first impression is it's not bad. I feel like I do need to go lighter. Now I'm gonna apply number 11, which is a little bit lighter. I looked at the video, I'm just doing what she did, which isn't a bad idea. I feel like this concealer could go a little lighter. This applicator is actually one of my favorites. I feel like this is the easiest to use. It's better than a pump. It's my favorite. It's easy. All right, so this is 11. The concealer looks really smooth on the skin. Can't even lie. And it doesn't feel like it's super thick. I'm also gonna apply number 11 on my eyes. I'm gonna use her new brush too. This brush is $18 and I probably wouldn't buy it, but it's not bad for the lid here. I don't know why like her brushes aren't getting better. Like they're just kind of like, okay. All right, let's contour. I'm gonna use number 15 to contour. If this is too light, then I'll go to 16. I usually use something a little richer, but I wanna try this because it's not a bad color. She definitely needs more shades, okay? So far, I'm actually liking the consistency of the concealers. Even though I feel like because they're so thick, they're not gonna last as long. Like there doesn't seem to be a ton of product on the actual sponge, but I'm definitely gonna try them out and see how long they last because there's not a lot in here, okay? So far so good. Everything is blending really nicely, and let me tell you, these are a lot better than those highlight and contour sticks she had before. Like we all know that was all right, I'm gonna bake with the number 3 bake, which comes with the number 3 kit, I believe. And it's more of a yellow undertone. I'm actually gonna set my concealer first, and then I'm gonna bake, because that's what I would do with any other product. These setting powders are described as super fine. They're supposed to go on really nice and smooth. Let's see. I'm just gonna set my whole face with this, because it does look super translucent. It's not making me look too light or too bright. Can we imagine for a moment if she had one more set, maybe 2? Like imagine if there was 25 shades. I feel like she really would have kind of hit the nail on the head, you know? Because so far I'm really liking just how my skin looks right now. I feel like she just needs more shades. You know, the formula is there. Well, hold on. Before I say anything else, let's brighten. Let's bake and brighten. Okay, so I set my foundation, my concealer, everything. Now I'm gonna bake with the same number 3 powder. And my sponge is damp. Hi. Creepy. No. Ooh, this brush scares me. This brush is almost like a little too stiff, you know? Wait, okay. This one? Hold up. Hold up. Hold, please. Oh, crap. Okay, do not use your sponge wet. I kind of messed this up. So typically, if I do bake, I'll bake and the sponge is kind of damp. I think a lot of us do that, but I don't think you can do that with this powder. I think it caught a little weird right here. I'm gonna use Fix Plus to kind of set it. It should be fine, but just a warning for you guys, don't bake with a wet sponge. Do not do what I did. My nose looks cute though. All right, I'm gonna brighten with the number 3 brightener. I need some Fix Plus. Okay, this looks like the tutorial for sure. Yeah, this kind of brightness is like, I think a little too much for me. Like it's a little too bright. Let me add some bronzer. I'm gonna bronze my skin with my Guerlain bronzer. And then we're gonna add some setting spray because I am looking a little too bright. A little dry. Okay, so remember, don't use a damp beauty blender. I think that this product goes on better dry. It's like kind of, it's set in, so I feel like we're gonna be fine, but just a warning to you guys, make sure your sponge is pretty dry. Okay, I'm gonna set my foundation with the Garnier. It's like a facial mist. It's similar to a MAC Fix Plus. It's a setting spray. Fix me. Oh, so much better. Ooh, this looks, ooh. All right, I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna wait about 30 minutes and then I'm gonna be back and we're gonna talk about everything that happened here today. Okay, I did a little damage control. I loaded my face with Fix Plus. I feel like it looks pretty good. I took a couple pictures in natural light and I feel like in pictures, my skin actually looks pretty good. The brightening powder is the only product that I'm like, I think it's just a little too much for me. I don't really like my under eyes to be like white, you know? And I feel like when I first put it on, I was like, whoa, like it's a little too bright. I did like the setting powder, even though it was a little bit of a disaster for a second. And the concealers, I feel like went on really smooth. I don't have any complaints. I actually really like how it looked. Okay, let's talk about the setting powder real quick. So as soon as I put it on my face, I was like, oh my gosh, like something weird is happening. And I was gonna redo my foundation, start over again, start filming, not show you guys that. But I think it's really important for you guys to see that so that you don't make the same mistake and to know that, you know, that happens to us too. So I really like the setting powder, just do not use it with a damp sponge, okay? Because it will go all the way left. So overall, I do like the products. I feel like this is a major step up for KKW Beauty. Do I like the price? Do I like the ounces? No, I feel like there needs to be more. There just needs to be more. If you compare it to other concealers, there's a lot less product. And I think for the price, you should get more. Let's talk about shade range for a second. As consumers, we need to challenge these brands to be more inclusive, you know, and by challenging one of them, we need to challenge them all. So it's really important that if we are going to speak about shade range, that we talk about all the brands, because to be honest with you, most brands have about 16 shades and most brands don't have a great shade range. Those are facts. You can look it up. I went on Sephora earlier and I was like, okay, let me just look at a few brands and they're all kind of the same. Like they really don't have a wide range of shades. And you know what? I'm really happy that we're having this conversation, that everyone's talking about, you know, inclusivity and shade range, because it is important. And I think, and I hope going forward that brands see that there's an opportunity here and we need more shades, you know. Foundation, concealer, powder, skin is very personal and it's like you never want to leave anyone out. You know what I mean? So I just hope going forward that, you know, KKW and every brand will just come out with more concealers, more foundations, just more products for everybody. Boom, that's it in a nutshell. Thank you guys for watching this review. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let's talk. I feel like, you know, shade range is a hot topic. I mean, it should have been a while ago, but it's a hot topic, so let's talk about it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and last but not least, strut and slay.